What's going on, guys? It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Kwame, got mortgages. I've got my good friend Mike here.
What's up, guys?
We're
How are you?
here at Triple Play
Yes,
2025 December,
it's exciting.
which is insane. You know, it's funny, Mike. You and I first met probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was social media, right? It might have even been 2 years ago. And then it's such a small world. We live in the same town.
Yep.
As we started getting to know each other, right? So you want to introduce yourself to everybody and kind of
Of course,
take it
yeah.
from there?
Again, my name's Michael Karch. I'm with Real Broker. I'm a realtor in Ocean County. I live in Toms River. From Toms River. Ocean County is mainly my farm, but I dabble Monmouth and more south wherever it needs to go, but mainly focus on Ocean and Monmouth County, shore towns. I love helping people find either their second home or the home they want to retire to, because not for nothing, that's why we live where we live, to reap all the benefits, and I love selling what I'm living.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And so how long have you been doing real estate?
So I got into real estate in 2018.
Okay, cool. So you went through the, as I call it, pre-COVID,
Yep.
COVID, post-COVID, and then I guess now you could say post-COVID.
Correct.
So, have you always been with real, or did you start with a different?
No, I had a few journeys. When I first got into real estate, I was with a big corporate brokerage up in Monmouth County, just for the infrastructure, the size, and everything like that. Get my feet wet, learn the business. I did come up under a team, so we branched off, kind of formed our own thing through another brokerage, and then honestly we grew that office pretty big and rapidly, and then that transitioned us into Real Broker. We were with another similar company. Nothing that was wrong with the company. I just feel like we might have missed the organic boom of it. Maybe jumped on the ship a little too late. But ever since we were Real Broker, no complaints.
I love
it. Yeah.
So, and that's like the new wave, right? More or less, virtual brokerages,
Yeah.
right?
Non-traditional brokerages.
You had your brick and mortars, right? Your Weikerts, your KWs, your Caldwells, and all that. And what I've always found is many real estate agents start in the brick and mortars because they've got phenomenal trainings and stuff like that. But
proximity as well. You're in an office filled with people watching them do what you're striving to do.
And so now you've got quite a few agents under your leadership.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you were just sharing a little over 20 plus change.
Yeah.
What have you found to be that value offering that you provide? If there's an agent out there, it's the end of the year. A lot of times this is when people are somewhat considering a move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What have you seen your value offerings? That's obviously 20 agents is a lot.
It is, and to be completely honest, it's not even the value that I'm bringing. I'm reaping the value and benefits of the company. So I'm just simply showing my colleagues that they're, based on their fit and their business, there might be greener grass because I'm benefiting from this company. So it's not even like, ooh, this is an exciting place, huh? So it's not even like what I'm giving and what I'm bringing to the table. It's the company, and I'm more or less making the introduction. I'm introducing them to an amazing company, and I'd say what makes us stick out is just like the collaborativeness. Everybody is working together because it's all inducive to our businesses. Like, you come to me through a sponsorship, we could be in two totally different markets, but you're helping the company stock. Me helping you is helping you sell houses, which is helping my financial portfolio and my equity and everything in the company. So I just felt that the traditional brokerages, it was kind of just every man on his own in a big pool. Now we're almost like in a big pool in unison.
And that's the cool part too, right? Because I've seen, in that world, you have the opportunity, if you get a client in Nebraska, right? You actually have the opportunity to tap into
within the company
network, right?
So
From
essentially, our brokerage is nationwide. My office is nationwide.
Yeah,
literally.
And that's I've always found that powerful because we run a very similar model too, where we lend in the entire country. I would say my focal point is going to be Jersey, PA.
Of course.
But having that infrastructure, and I think Real definitely helps provide that necessity.
Especially in today's world. I mean,
it's so important, I think, to have the access to everything.
Right.
We are always going to be hyper local, right? But having access and just being able to do it,
and even non-occupational real estate opportunities are happening outside of your
Sure.
own state. And just in today's world, you have access to a lot of that information.
Sure.
You don't have to buy an investment property up the road that you can keep an eye on. You can run your data, find something somewhere else, find something that's lucrative, and then link up with someone like you who can fund anywhere, everywhere.
Exactly.
Hey, we live here, but I'm buying a house in Nebraska.
Done.
Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I
the
love
numbers
that.
work.
So shift gears a little bit into obviously just the market in and
Yeah.
of itself, right? It's, we saw 2018, market was not bad. Then the shit show happened with COVID,
Right.
right? And then I would say 22, 23 for many people was somewhat of a difficult year. I know you guys were still crushing it.
Limbo, but yeah.
How has 2025 been for you and your team?
So, for lack of better terms, it's a grind.
Sure.
You definitely opposed to that 20 and 21 market of just, I hate to say it, but like anybody and everyone was buying houses, open the door, put in the highest offer, and you're going to get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it didn't take a whole lot of skill, but it was probably easier.
Sure. And affordability, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So now in a shifting market, the professionals in a shifting market, you're really seeing who had the experience before, during, and after, because it's really coming to light. You can tell who got in it at 2020 that's trying to
Figure it out.
be in the
Yeah.
trenches in 2025 when, to be completely honest, I mean, you're from the lending side, so you're strictly buyer. I would confidently say that we're not in a buyer's or a seller's market right now, right?
It's definitely, it's a good point, right? It's definitely a case-by-case basis.
Correct.
Like, based on the listing itself, and I would even say...
It's not even territory.
Like, local market could play a factor, but it's like the house itself, too. Like, when we work with, when we work with clients, and you're like, yo, we're going to put an offer. And the client comes to us, and they're like, how high should we go? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I need to sit with Mike, and we need to run our comps, because I can't just give you a blanket house is listed for 500 and you're going to offer 550.
Because I think it's worth that.
No.
Or it can be worth that.
An agent might have listed the house too high already.
Yep.
So you're going to be in a position where you're probably going to have to cover that shortage.
Correct.
Or you're going to be in a position where, it might have been listed so low purposely. It's like when I bought
As
a
a
Tom's
tactic,
River,
yeah.
I went 60 over. Waived the inspection, waived the appraisal. Bro, we still were not the highest.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of agents weigh their success on how many offers they could get on a property. That doesn't mean anything. That just means that you underbid it. And now you made your seller get out a lot more than they should have.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things I think, one more thing, and then we'll wrap this up, is so it's obviously a grind, right?
Correct.
Like we talked about. What's your predictions heading into 2026, right? Rates are going down.
Yep.
I think we're
Hopefully.
seeing a little bit of inventory, right? Start to come on a little bit.
Yeah. Now's a hard gauge because we're mid-December, so traditionally COVID, non-COVID, high rates, low rates. Now is the low moment of the season, regardless. But to your point with the inventory, it's like, I think it's the double-edged sword. I think it's more homes are sitting longer.
Sure.
So the inventory is bulky in that number in that column, but then also, to your point, money's expensive, so there's not as many buyers out there. So when you combine the two, it does look like there's significantly more inventory, but I also think just home average days on market is significantly longer than it was less than 2 years ago.
Sure.
Literally. And you caveat that into your average Johnny home seller who has just been sitting back watching for 4 or 5 years. Now it's time for them to sell their house. They think they can still ride that
2020 wave.
That wave of every 6 months to a year, my house is increasing this much, and then that's what you're seeing. Sellers are just simply overpricing their house. You're getting these realtors who, hate to say, they're just saying, yes, I'll list it for that and we'll see what happens, instead of educating like, no, this is what the house is worth, this is what rates are at now, this is the combination of the two, blah, blah, blah. So I think there's a lot less of that and more of the throw it up and see what happens.
You're definitely seeing a lot of price cuts,
Yeah.
which brings a good point. And a lot of times, like, we'll see a client house list for 500, and then you go to cut it, and then you take it from there. So definitely excited to kind of see all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
happen,
I want to see a market where it's definitely back to even. Buyers are, and even too, I mean, if and when the buyer wins a bid, it's still not the most satisfying thing because they just went
They're
through
still not,
they just
yeah.
went through so much turmoil when it should be the most exciting part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Well, listen, appreciate you jumping on.
Of course, brother.
Definitely look forward
Anytime.
for 2026, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
you. You got
Thank
it.
you.